And we're live. Michael, how would you summarize what we've been working on today?
To overcoming.
Good summary.
Trying to debug the memory issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two PRs open for that.
We do.
See if they'll give us any insight on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the feature to send the email alerts to you and Raul.
Hmm.
The Slack invitation fails upon sign up. And there was a lot of debugging with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you've gotten them to send emails now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yes.
There's more potential work on that in the future, but not right now.
Yeah.
What's up?
Indeed.
So basically overcoming the obstacles thrown in our path.
Indeed.
Not much.
Say again?
Not much. What's it called? Vertical thinking or horizontal thinking?
Lateral thinking?
Lateral thinking. Not much lateral thinking today.
Yes.
So it greatly displeases you.
I like getting things done. Yes, I think that the email thing, it's interesting because I'd love to have an acceptance test. It seems difficult to do so. But yes, I think that's, we've got now unit tests on the two important parts of it, and yeah, it's sensible to get it into place in the first instance and cycle back around on it. So we'll end up tomorrow getting some input on whether removing this this gem is improving our memory consumption, and I think that will be, yeah, we'll then have the question about whether we want to work on pulling that out or what we will be pushing on to next. I mean, there's different things, and there's the one, should we prioritize, assuming that we're confident we have a fix for the memory issues, should we prioritize that? We've got our issues with Heroku. I think sensibly tomorrow I will be...
I'll probably be unavailable for part of the morning because I have a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks for letting me know. Yes. And so we've got the MOOC is starting up tomorrow. And we've got the first summit releases at the end of the week. If we do want to make any changes to the way in which people can sign up for or get into events, I noticed Maciek, who's been chatting in the channels and talking about getting involved again, well, starting a Scrum in parallel with somebody. Yes, I have my idea there about ways to check. We basically, I mean, sort of the big solution there is about WebSockets or what have you, to make sure that people can't be left with stale versions. I guess there's still but there's always going to be an overlap because of the time delay to have connection. So maybe the telemetry is the better way to go. Thomas is here. Hello, Thomas. How are you doing? You appear to be... Gravity has gone at 90 degrees in your world. But that's okay. We won't hold it
Yes,
against you.
I kind of switched my phone, but for some reason you didn't tag along. I don't know.
Well, there you go. Yeah, how are things going with you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Just busy as usual.
Uh-huh.
Not much to report. Just wanted to check in with you guys.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I don't know how much you heard of it. I mean, the main things Michael and I were working on today were one, setting it up so we get admin email notifications when Slack invites fail, and it's the website one, and two, investigating the memory problems. We have a lead that the nearest time zone gem is consuming a lot of memory.
Oh, really?
But we're running an experiment, and we'll have more data tomorrow.
So one gem that usually consumes a lot of, or used to consume a lot of memory, was the ice cube gem.
Right.
But we locked down to we did that 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, to a version that we knew were stable. But I don't know if somebody perhaps updated that or something. That could be a good place to look as well.
Sure. Yeah, we've got this thing called Derail, which runs an analysis of all the gems, and Ice Cube seems to be okay at the moment.
All right.
But yeah, that's good. That's good to keep that in mind. Yes, and then the
justify removing functionality.
Say again, Michael.
That Sam's trying to justify removing functionality, basically.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I ever need justification to move functionality. I'm updating Thomas as to what's in play at the moment. There's the other thing going on is we had Lara joined us in the
I saw that
our pairing, and we've got Lara and Lucia in the.
Oh, she came into your pairing session as well.
No, the pairing session she came into. We've got her in professional develop and chatting with her in the professional develop chat room on AV. Yes. So I kind of reached out to Calip and Michael as well. And that's the other Michael or Mikhail. So we'll see. But yes. Yeah, and then we've got the MOOC is starting tomorrow. And I'm taking a Mentive group.
Oh, really?
With the MOOC.
Good stuff.
Because I thought it would be good to see how to do that, and I could use the money.
All right.
And yes, I guess
we can start paying you for taking some students.
Well, maybe. Yes, I mean, I think as I was saying to you before, the intensity of I had a good couple of years of very, very intense bootcamp experience, and I'm still enjoying. I'm hoping that the Mentive experience will be far less stressful than that.
Yes, you never know.
I never know. Indeed, you may find me. Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested to see what technology they're using and so on.
So last time around, when I had a Mentive group, they were using Adobe Connect.
Right.
And that was a painful experience. But
yeah. Well, yes, I will let you know. I will certainly be letting you know whether they've managed to improve upon that or they're still stuck in the same sort of pain. But yes, I mean the main thing on my mind now, I was just talking to Michael about, is for the rest of the week is what to focus on, and I guess then it comes down to improving telemetry from their Hangouts, so we get more information about the students who are doing pairing in the MOOC this time around, and trying to make the premium thing more visible in the site, doing better integration so that, for example, on individual users pages, there's a button saying upgrade to premium, and the existing premium users can get a button that says upgrade to premium plus, and so on. And yes, I guess it doesn't have to be one or the other. We can spend, a week on one and then a week on the other. Well, that kind of thing. Yeah, cool. So did you want to talk, Thomas? We obviously had the meeting for the charity trustee meeting on, what was it called, Friday morning, which you were obviously present at, but we'd written down apologies. I think first you were there. I can update the minutes.
Thank you, because I was like, wow, I wasn't there. I was a bit of I wasn't in my best shape.
No,
but you
had trouble accessing the Hangout, so it was before you'd actually arrived. that apologies from Thomas was written, and then you arrived afterwards and it wasn't correct. But I can fix that. But so you were saying about deeper collaboration between Agile Ventures and Craft Academy.
Look, we are very dependent on good amount of signups, but also I'm not kidding when I'm saying that perhaps some coaching time, and I don't mean like taking on entire cohorts or anything, but perhaps holding some classes or giving talks and stuff like that. We can either pay you individually or support the charity somehow. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, and and also since we have a fairly large member base, stuff that mentioning us in emails or working toward us receiving signups could very much render some sort of economic compensation for the charity or something,
Yes.
Or if perhaps we can do some stuff further down the line with employing some of Agile Ventures premium members as teaching assistants, if that could be an interesting path in their own personal development, because we all know that teaching others is a good way to actually learn yourself.
Sure.
Things like that. I mean, there are quite a few possibilities, I think, that we would be interested in exploring. Your thoughts on that?
Yes. Well, I think particularly, with the MOOC, I think we've got the option for doing more of what we did last time, which is about offering, the Craft Academy special deal to the MOOC students. I guess what would be good would be a way to maybe offer some of the Premium Plus benefits to the Craft Academy students, because they're currently getting the Premium benefits after graduation. At least that's the sensible way to do it. But we could get it set up so that they would get Premium Plus benefits, and so they could get focused real-time support on their open source projects in the project week and I think you got 2 project weeks, haven't you? Like one halfway through and one at the end.
Yeah, we have two projects for them.
Yeah.
So the mid-course project is usually a simple one, but the idea is that we want to do some sort of charity projects.
Yes.
For us as the final project. We just haven't, we didn't have time to develop our network with charities here in Sweden, or I know that at Makers you guys had this charity jamboree with a lot of charities attending, and we would love to do a similar thing here in Gothenburg, because I know that there's a big NGO movement, and a lot of them would potentially benefit from having some sort of IT support systems, to back their whatever they're doing, right? But
sure.
But I don't know, we run a very small and slick operation, so we didn't have time or energy or resources to devote any time to finding or building that network, basically.
No, sure. Well, and it can start. So I saw you were just saying in the Project Unify about maybe the students in about 4 weeks will be working on Project Unify.
Yeah, I'm trying to push them into that, and the problem with that project is that they have a look at it, and they just started out with Ionic this week, right?
Right.
And they look at the Ionic application and they go like, "Wow, this is way too big for me." And they look at the Rails app that is not, it's not a straight up, it's not a vanilla application. We have some pretty custom gems that we make use of.
Right.
In the admin interface is set up in a specific way. So they are a little bit scared of that project,
Okay.
They think
things might change, because the final project is still 4 weeks off. So
they think the Ionic is too big.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
Well, I thought, Thomas, you were saying that they thought the Rails app was too big, and the Ionic is too like that's like a new thing and kind of a bit intimidating.
Well, it's also too big because they've built a simple BMI calculator in Ionic with like one
Right.
view and one controller, and
Yeah.
here we have OAuth, we have this and that, So at the moment, the Ionic app feels a little bit overwhelming for them as well,
Yeah.
But
Would
that
it-
might
would it-
change,
yeah.
because
Well, I mean, I was going to say there. I mean, I would be very happy if we could if we worked out something that went through Premium Plus. That would be an interesting way of, I could be giving them direct support on Project Unify.
Yeah.
And or if that was still Project Unify was still too intimidating, we could. I mean, I've got some things like there are other charity, like if they need sort of more of a greenfield thing, then I've got this thing which is sort of, again, Rachel from local support would be the customer, but it's doing kind of we've got like access to government data on charities, and it would be sort of a data mining thing.
Okay.
And pulling out and exploring the data, and there are other ones, but so potentially we could actually start some new ones to make it. There'd be. I mean, it depends if the existence of a legacy code base is an important thing to them, or
it's like I don't like that we do have legacy code exercises in the
yes,
curriculum.
indeed I do,
and
yes.
I value those exercises. I think this is a very good thing to do.
Yes,
but I don't see, we don't necessarily have to get them working on a legacy code base for the final project. I think that
no.
Building something from scratch is okay. The problem is that we only have quote unquote, we only have 2 weeks. So we kind of have to, and that probably from makers, that probably we need to cut some corners sometimes, like this past week when Amber, a really good coder, she just became senior this week, right? She asked me, Thomas, I'm a little bit stuck on Stripe integration testing, right?
Yeah.
And I pointed her actually to website one because you guys did that recently.
Right.
But in the midst of she was doing that the 2 days before the end of the project, and I didn't want her to be blocked. And she asked me, listen, do you really want me to test this or can I move forward? And I said, usually I would say, you have to test it. It's the best practice. But I know that you have some other interesting stuff ahead of you. And I want you to learn them. So I kind of, we kind of cut that corner and said that, yeah, sure, go ahead and perhaps return to this later on, or spike this. So what I'm saying here is that when we work in a project for 2 weeks, we cannot afford. I mean, we want them to set up ambitious goals, not too ambitious, because we still want to maintain certain level of best practices, but we don't necessarily have to impose everything. It's sometimes it's good enough for them to know that, okay, I should be doing this, but I'm not. It's too time consuming for us right now. So we just want to push forward to an MVP, for instance. Or
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I think probably we should wrap up the Scrum then. I've got a few more things to do. But yeah, why don't we try and work out some way that would allow me to get more involved in project support? Well, and when I say me, I'm hoping via Agile Ventures. Yes, and yeah.
And Michael, whenever you feel like opening up Craft Academy on the East Coast of United States, I can give you a good license deal. So we can become business partners. I would love to expand to US, and then we would become rich and famous. Well, perhaps not famous, but rich at least. And that's interesting.
Tempting offer for Michael. I'll just mention one other thing. We've now managed to close successful asynchronous votes. It's a new thing we're doing, asynchronous story voting in both local support and website one. I'm quite pleased about that. But yeah,
I was following that. Very interesting experiment.
Good stuff. Well, good to see you, Thomas. I got to nip off now, but we will talk again very soon.
If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm just cooking. I don't know if you can see that.
That looks good.
I'm doing pasta bolognese.
So Sam,
yes.
which one's data mine? That's interesting.
Oh, well, we found. Yes. Thomas, that looks delicious, and I'm gonna go and have to eat something now. Michael,
I talk to you guys later. Cheers.
Take care, Thomas. Bye for now. Have a nice supper. Yeah. Well, it's that we were looking at. I mean, it's right back from the very beginning. There's a whole thing about the data that's seeded local support is from the government, and they now, and we had to get it through sort of a third-party screen scraping thing, and they now provide like a data dump, the government does, of the data, and that's something that's of interest to Rachel.
Like what particularly?
I think you know, it's like for generating reports of, you know, which charities are in which areas and so on. I mean, it's sort of I mean, what would be ideal would be a way of, you know, linking the local support so that it was able, we could update it automatically based on the changing data from the government register. I mean, that seems you know, it's not an API, it's a data dump. But so you know, this part of the UK government open data initiative, so they have all, you know, this data available, and then so I think in the broader sense, you know, if you have tools that allow you to mine that data and then generate, I mean, other people have done kind of mapped based things on that, but they've all it's all been done like through this intermediate screen scraping thing. So now that the government's actually providing an official, you know, up to date thing, there's, I mean, it's sort of, it's not high priority, but it's the kind of thing like I'd said to her, oh, you know, if I found somebody who was interested in doing data mining on this data set, then that's something we could look into.
You'd want to do that in Ruby?
Not necessarily. Could be.
Could be Python.
Could be. Yeah. Anyway,
but I'm standing up a production app.
Yeah, I don't know that it would necessarily. I mean, it would be more tool. Anyway, I got to run. So I'll maybe see you a bit later tomorrow. But otherwise, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye for now. Bye, viewers.